Hello there, I'm Nick Yakabuchi and welcome back to RealScreenReviews.com. Our next film is the third installment in the juggernaut franchise, the Twilight Saga, Eclipse, and it opened in worldwide release on Wednesday, June 30th, 2010. Eclipse stars heartthrobs and media sensations Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart, and Taylor Lautner. This film comes to us from director David Slade, a veteran director of music videos, and at the helm of feature films such as 30 Days of Night and the much overlooked but very solid drama Hard Candy. This film picks up where the previous chapter, New Moon, leaves off and continues the drama and adventure of the downtrodden and extremely pale vampire Edward Cullen and the love triangle between him, Bella, and the werewolf Jacob. Our story opens with Bella getting ready to graduate high school soon enough, and she is still very much infatuated with Edward, and in turn Jacob is still very much infatuated with her. The rivalry between her two suitors has not diminished in the least, and she has the extremely difficult task of balancing friendship and romance between two unrelenting personalities. Okay, I almost feel bad for Bella because I do not understand the whole Team Edward, Team Jacob contest. She seems to have made herself perfectly clear from the middle to the end of the film New Moon, and her attitude hasn't changed. Or has it? Bella is actually a very interesting and courageous character that stands very strong in a world where the friends and adversaries that surround her are without question physically superior. Now, there have been a rash of murders and disappearances that have engulfed the Seattle area for longer than a year, and no police agency is even close to finding out what the cause of this is. What they do not know, but what we learn, is that Victoria has taken up with a character, Riley, and together they have been gathering and accumulating a small vampire army of newborns. A newborn vampire is almost in a savage state for the first few months of their new existence, and we are told that this is also when they are at their most powerful because of all the human blood and tissue that is still left in their bodies. They are being assembled with every intention of hunting down Bella and ridding the forest of the shape-shifting werewolves. Now, this leaves the two battling cultures of vampires and werewolves no choice but to forge an alliance if there is to be any expectation of defeating this new common enemy to them. Jacob and the other wolves meet with Jasper and are trained by this vampire and others in order to prepare for the attack that is coming so very soon. Jasper has extensive knowledge about newborns and organizes a trap that should help cripple their rivals, fend off the Voltari, and all the while still manage to keep the ever-in-demand Bella safe from all that seek her out. Straight away, people, I'm not a huge fan of this franchise, but being a critic means to watch each project based on its own individual merits, and this new film, Eclipse, is the best in the Twilight franchise so far. I was hoping that with a director of accomplished music videos that they would be able to breathe some life into this movie, no pun intended, and speed up the ever so slowly paced story, and director David Slade has done just that. My biggest problem with the two previous films was that there wasn't enough adventure to balance out the very long-winded romance between Edward and Bella and Jacob. He has fashioned this story with intense action sequences. There is a hunt for Victoria through the forest that is just eye-catching, all the while being accompanied by many credible and gripping scenes throughout, and leading into an exciting and satisfying climax at the end of the feature. I have a few issues with the film, starting with the fact that I didn't see the sign at the werewolf village that said, "No shirts allowed." I mean, they take their shirts off so much and show up with no shirts that even Edward made a joke about it. You know, also a concern is that they look like vampires. The characters in this film, their eyes are an odd color, their skin is extremely pale, and they just physically look so different that I can't believe that no one has been able to figure this out. And I believe that the one trait that hurts Bella as a character is her uncertainty. The fact that she just can't make up her mind between these two guys, I think that just makes her look immature. You know, she knows the severity of her decision, and yet she's almost no closer to coming to a resolution than she was in the first film. The scenes with Jacob and Edward, they worked very well in this movie, and a very solid TV and movie actor, Billy Burke, he returns as Bella's father and brings some welcome laughs to a story that needed every single one of them. There is also a short bit where Bella vacations to see her mother, and not only did I enjoy this, I actually thought it was the most human part of this whole movie. Enough of this film work that I can easily recommend this to others that have seen the two previous parts, but having just referenced the human side of the story, I just can't help but wonder why Bella is so eager and willing to give up her humanness. You know, the other vampires throughout these films continually warn her about this choice, including Edward, and it still seems that she just can't wait to leave it all behind. At this point, as a non-reader of the books, I am genuinely interested on how this is going to play out, and I will definitely be back to review Breaking Dawn Parts 1 and 2 when released in 2011 and 2012 respectively. At 2 hours and 5 minutes, Eclipse felt like 2 hours and 5 minutes. This, by the way, was a drastic improvement over the previous films that felt like 2 weeks and 5 minutes. I did like this movie, but it's anything but a great film. However, in a summer filled with The Killers with Ashton Kutcher, Splice, and Jonah Hex, I'll give 2.5 stars out of 4 because it was good summer fun and a step up from the last chapter. And remember people, I'm not always right, only when it comes to the movies. And thank you for your attention.